Go ahead and make that saving throw again.
Come on now. There we go. 23.
23. What silly plan is Red and Windy cooking above you?
So I think if Windy seems to think that a little bit of is everywhere. So Raazu usually stops things if they try and punch me. So I'm gonna have Windy try and punch me, and then maybe she'll like slip in the sand or something.
Yeah, no, that seems like a good plan.
And you punch Red square in the nose.
Freaking Abbott and Costello over here.
Did maybe like the sand shift a little bit or anything?
No, she just up and punched you in the nose. I don't even know if
no, I mean like is it maybe like a diffuse effect if we're trying to stop you?
Well, I felt like for a second I felt like a stinging from the ice as though my foot was being whipped.
Raazu, make that Constitution save one more time. Make this one a
but
disadvantage.
It could just be
You've been
cold.
down there a long
Disadvantage,
time.
you said?
Yes. You've been down there quite a long time, and it's freezing cold.
18.
18. After a few more moments, you can't hold your breath anymore. You can't handle it. And despite yourself, you open your mouth, and this frozen, blessedly fresh water flows in, and you realize you're beginning to swallow it, and you realize you're beginning to drown. And then after a moment, you have this thought where Osprey has made her use of you and gotten whatever it was that she needed, and that this is the way that you're going out. This is the calm end of Osprey's servant. But you realize that upon swallowing this water, taking it into your body, first of all, you are freezing to death. That's totally happening.
Yeah.
But you realize you're no longer choking.
Alright. At that point, I will try and start pulling water to try and find where where I cut through originally.
Windy, how many times do you punch Red in the snaz? Because this is funny to me.
Like a half a dozen.
Yeah, well, we gotta be scientific about this.
Yeah.
Raazu, what's your walking speed?
30.
Go ahead and grant yourself a 30-foot swim speed.
Okay.
Raazu eventually slaps her arm up out of the hole in the snow where Red is laying, having his nose broken in 6 places.
Oh, was that in response to that last punch?
When Raazu reaches up her other arm to slap, Red, you immediately notice that she's not carrying her trident. What she's holding looks like this weird coil of blue-green rope, as Raazu pulls herself shivering up out of the hole. And as you stand, the rope that you're holding that was once your trident uncoils into the shape of a barbed whip.
I told you I felt that whip. I told you. Right, I told you.
Was it like icy and cold? Because that's certainly
Yes, that's what I said.
Yeah.
Start a fire. Start a fire. Please start a fire.
Are you sure that's not against your god's tenets? When
Start a fire!
Starting a fire.
Raazu
Red
is
already has his tinder
very
box out.
freezing to death. Adrex and Birdie, after almost
Yes,
2 full
sir.
days go by, your companions return, and they have a harrowing story to tell.
So, how did it go?
What happened to your nose, Red?
Science.
Yeah, can you take a look at that? I think you could probably is that gonna heal crooked, do you think, Adrex?
Oh no, Windy reset that. I've got an emergency kit. Pack that up.
Make a medicine check. Yeah, of course. I think it'll be fine.
This is the 20. This is the one. You're
Yeah.
still gonna be beautiful, Red.
Yep.
Let's get the stats for Raazu's new whip that she has. It counts as a finesse and reach weapon.
Sure.
It is a +1 weapon.
Alright.
1d4 slashing as per the standard whip. What did
Yep.
the trident used to do? A d6 piercing? Or no, d6 cold.
It was piercing or cold, I could choose.
The whip deals the d4 slashing from the whip,
Mm-hmm.
plus 1d6 piercing in cold. No, I'm sorry. Plus 1d6 cold, not 1d. Piercing in cold doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
It's an icy, piercing cold.
All right.
The rough equivalent of Adrex's Famor, except you have reach and he doesn't.
Yep.
We're just all D4 plus something weapons here.
I mean,
I feel like you guys have gotten a lot of mileage out of these whips.
Well, listen, I do unholy things to that D4 and turn it into a D8.
I'm very upset that everybody has a whip except Red. Red's my best friend now.
Raazu.
She's a magic whip now too. It's
No, I've had a magic whip since we left the whatchamacallit, and Raazu would actually hand that over to Adrex and say, "We'll hit things that need magic to hurt it."
Whereas
actually
before, the trident is not a +1 weapon, but this whip is.
The snakeskin whip from the Yuan-ti town.
Yeah, that was also not a +1 weapon. That was just a regular whip, except it was magic.
It is a magical weapon now.
At the end of the week, Adrex, like I said, your scale armor, nothing fancy, but it'll get the job done.
well, Adrex loves it.
Repurposed out of rail track.
In fact, Adrex loves it so much now he's got his Famor in one hand, silvered sword in the other, and spins around in a circle. Very delighted he doesn't have to wield the shield anymore.
What do you do with the shield?
You keep it. It served him well.
They go ahead and give you the provisions you need. They were going to offer you some arrows to replace the ones you lost, but Birdie's already stolen them. Right. I'm sure that Birdie has had a firm talking to.
Okay.
Well, now Birdie can defend himself verbally again. So
I'm sharing you this item on D. I'm going to share I'm going to link this item on D&D Beyond, and you should be able to add it to your character sheet.
Cool.
Birdie, I'm taking 4 of those arrows.
Take as many as you want.
Well, I wanted 4, so.
Right.
It wasn't Birdie, can I have 4 of those arrows? It was Birdie, I'm taking 4 of those arrows.
Before you guys set out, they tell you that your path north is dangerous enough towards the Great Glimmer's domain. They tell you that the path south would be more dangerous still. There are nomadic groups of orcs and goblinoids in the area. Nothing as big as the war tribes that you guys are used to down south. But there's one particular group in the area of orcs, a group that once upon a time wiped out Fingernail's tribe, that were very active here, but have been less and less active over the past year. There's been much fewer of them around, to the point where they decided to strike out and find one of their latest encampments to see if perhaps they'd been taken by disease or if one of the local dragons had taken them into its employ. What they found was one of their scouting camps that had been completely ravaged. And they describe a mark left on the ground and tracks leading away from the camp leading south that took them all the way to the cliff face. What they found there was a kind of rudimentary gallows constructed on top of the cliff, and bodies hanging off of them, having been thrown over the side of the cliff itself.
Birdie.
Some 30 or 40 orcs over the past year had been dispatched of in this way.
That sounds familiar.
Birdie laughs, and then he draws the picture of that the hangman left. Like the hunger. He goes, "Is this it? Is this the symbol you see?"
Fingernail says she couldn't have sworn to it, because it's a kind of complicated symbol. She couldn't swear to it, but it does look familiar.
Fricker, does this whip require attunement?
Did the trident?
Yes, you did.
Then yeah, the whip will as well. Actually, the whip would, even if the trident did it, because this was a gift directly from Osborne.
Okay.
You roll double nat 20s on a religion check. What else can I do?
Well, I mean, you could have drowned her and said that.
I did drown her. What are you talking about?
Come on home, Raazu.
I literally drowned her. That happened.
You did.
Other than that, they tell you a little bit about the various orc and goblin tribes that you might encounter going to the north. Nothing you guys probably can't handle. They caution Adrex, maybe not so much Windy because she doesn't have feathers anymore, but they caution Adrex from trusting his wings too much, especially in times when the winds get high, because the winds in these lands are not the purview simply of the weather, but also the whims of the many dragons that live this far north. Especially white dragons, as you well know. Other than that, they load you guys down with meat and furs, and they wish you good fortune.
All right.
Should we paint Adrex red or something so that because we've already been attacked by a dragon once because he thought Adrex was impinging upon his location. You want to be red, Adrex? Maybe we could
I still
paint you
think
blue.
silver would be the best option.
We could paint you blue. Bright pink. I hear there's pink dragons.
Is Adrex having any of this?
I knew it was a mistake to remove that curse. I just should have just gestured for the rest of your life.
So that's a no, we're not painting Adrex?
I mean, like I hear that the pink dragons have like bubble breath weapons. They spit out soap bubbles. I think that's what they do.
So where are you guys heading when you leave the mines for the last time?
Like we have a general heading for where the tower is, right? And one of two paths.
The journey to Wizard's Folly leads you back across the lake where you guys just were. On the other side of the lake, you've been warned to watch out for patrolmen. If you continue north on that heading for 2 or 3 days, depending on weather, you were told that you would know when you've entered the Great Glimmer's domain.
So my second question is, who runs the patrols? The Great Glimmers people or somebody else's?
You're asking Fingernails this?
Yeah.
She tells you she doesn't know. The patrolmen keep to their own.
Like
she describes skinny humanoids decked out in metal armor with enormous greatswords. She also describes that these patrolmen have incredible skill with bow and arrow.
what color is the armor?
She says she's never gotten close enough to one to see for sure. She's seen it glimmer gold under sunlight and silver under moonlight.
It's probably not a dragon, because if it was a white dragon, all of his people would be dressed in white armor. Because their dragons are like that.
She says they're definitely not dragons. These are smaller humanoids. She kind of describes something skinny, but able to move very swift. Similar to a human, you would think. She says that you'll know when you find their patrol paths. They're very clearly marked beyond the lake.
Okay.
Adrex, were you able to add that item to your character sheet?
No, because I don't have a subscription, but it's fine.
But you shouldn't have to have a subscription. You should just be able to log in and...
It says require subscription.
I shared the content. At least I should have.
We'll deal with it later.
You can't wear your
Okay.
scale mail armor ever again.
No, the scale mail is fine. It's just the whip.
Your first day of travel takes you back up to the banks of the lake. This is like the 9th time that Raazu's made this journey. Go ahead and take the benefits of the long rest at the end of that day. I need Constitution saving throws. Add advantage from Red, Adrex, and Birdie. To which Raazu's bonus does not apply.
Birdie
We got
fails.
19.
DC is 16.
Birdie failed. I guess the
Adrex passes.
the cure curse didn't remove that from me.
Birdie,
Yep.
reduce your maximum hit points by 11.
All right.
And the next day, Birdie is showing the symptoms of mummy rot once again.
Just Birdie?
Just Birdie. The
All
other two
right,
passed.
knocking that 5 off so it doesn't progress.
Hey, Birdie, now that you can talk, can you figure out anything about this?
It sucks. And he makes a jerk off motion.
Can Adrex make an Arcana check since he cast Move Curse on Birdie? He's still wondering why there's still symptoms of mummy rot. If it's,
Do you want to roll some dice? Go ahead.
Can my voice?
if it's, if like it just hits one curse at a time,
Yeah, go ahead and make an Arcana check.
I'll just
Can you
roll
guys hear
some
me?
dice.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I had to mute myself and then unmute myself.
It's a 15.
15?
Yeah.
You have no idea what's causing this mummy rot. It just
All right.
it's flaring back up. Doesn't seem...
Just so that we... Oh, sorry.
Before Raazu applies her poultice, he's showing the symptoms of the early stages of it. And I guess you guys have never seen the advanced stages of it. And after she applies her poultices, he seems fine again, just somewhat weakened. Then the weakness wears off at the end of his next long rest.
Okay, so here's the thing: is I just looked at the spell description for remove curse and it says it removes all curses affecting one creature or object. So this isn't a curse.
Alright, so just do kind of like just as a backup, because Birdie is inevitably going to get cursed again. I'm going to start using my long rest to also try to learn remove curse.
Okay, did you want to do that last night?
Yeah.
How many spells does everybody know? Let me make sure that nobody's gone over the limit here.
I know
just
one.
have 2.
Red knows none.
I actually know 3.
Adrex knows 1.
And then Birdie knows the most. You can know a number of
Yeah.
spells equal to half your character level plus your intelligence modifier.
No, that's not true.
Yeah.
Adrex knows 2.
I mean, I haven't reached that.
No, Adrex never learned that. He never learned, what was it? The
Flaming
force
sword?
weapon.
He
Yeah.
tried a lot.
He tried a lot and he didn't. So he actually
learned
only
it.
knows the one.
Yeah, Wendy, you can go ahead and make that check.
I know it, but it was just force damage. No fire.
Oh,
Nope.
wow.
No? Do you need the actual 20 to make it?
I need the actual 20.
Okay.
Oh,
On subsequent nights, you can make the check at advantage now that you failed it once.
Alright.
You know what? I'll try and go ahead and try and learn this too. 'Cause spread up the blip load, and I don't have any poisons I need to make right now.
Okay.
So Arcana would be a 14.
Okay, you need a 20. But
Yep.
on subsequent tries, you can make the check at advantage. Okay. The second day, you guys strike out across the lake, and the weather worsens. And you start to feel what they were describing about the unnatural winds, because they blow one direction in one moment, and they switch to another direction very swiftly the next. And by the time you reach the banks of the lake, the snow has almost completely covered it. Now there's just a divot in the spot where Raazu has sawed out a circle a few days before. Striking out across the lake. Well, I should ask, are you guys going out across the lake, or are you guys going to travel around it? Around it would take a lot more time. Across is potentially more dangerous because it's very slippery and be a bad place to have a fight.
How much more time?
I would probably add a day to your journey in either direction.
Worth a day, I'd say.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't see
Uh,
anything.
Is Adrex able to forge here as we move?
Not
Also
on the
that.
lake, but in the woods around the lake, he could.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's just
Yeah.
go around then.
Okay. Okay, no random encounters on the second day of the journey.
Alright, I'll roll again.
Me too.
I
Everybody's
got some
gonna get a
space
new
for spells. Yeah. It's
a useful spell.
19 or better.
Nope.
Do you guys want me to teach you the ways?
How long does it take to train Arcana?
Like weeks and weeks.
It
Yeah.
took Adrex a very long time.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go ahead and get a repeat of that Constitution save. Add advantage, Red, Adrex, and Birdie. We'll see what Birdie's hit points do this time.
What was the DC?
16.
Fail.
Failed it by 1.
Yeah. Adrex is fine still.
All right. Birdie and Red, reduce your max HP by 10. Birdie, you get your max HP back, before that happens. You're not down by 21 now.
Yeah.
You're just down by 10. And the next day, they're still showing these symptoms. It's like every time they wake up from their rests.
Birdie, is it possible there's magic that actually removes disease?
Probably.
We've tried remove disease, haven't we?
That's what
My ability removes that disease.
Yeah.
Are we carrying something?
I
Birdie dumps out his pack and like starts looking for something that could be potentially cursed. Like, I've got this golem heart thing. We've got these 2 sticks.
Yeah, what all did we take with us leaving the
Here.
House of Torment?
Birdie, we can test this out. You carry, like, you're sick, right? You carry my stuff, and I'll carry your stuff.
Is Birdie physically able to carry all Wendy's stuff?
Birdie, I think it's your immunity to disease and what you're carrying that...
Can I make
right, I
a
am immune to disease, aren't I?
medicine check to see if there's some lingering wound that hasn't healed?
Who are you checking?
Is the...
Well, it seems to be affecting Birdie the worst. So probably Birdie.
Okay, go ahead and make a medicine check.
Is the cat subject to mummy rot?
The cat seems to be fine. There does not seem.
Okay.
I mean,
No, don't go into there. Shit.
it's a 12. Turned into a 12.
That's 18.
18.
Yeah.
Before Raazu applies her poultices, he seems to be in the early stages of mummy rot, and after the poultices, he has no trace of it. Her poultices were doing the job.
It's a disease that's being removed. And then
Something's
When we
carrying
sleep.
it. Something's carrying it. It could be an object. It could be one of us.
Do we have anything that still has
does the
mummy
cat
dust
have
on
it?
The cat doesn't
No.
know.
Maybe those sticks are what's causing it, because that's the only thing I think we took out of that place, out of the House of Torment.
Something is reinfecting us.
Can we throw the sticks in the fire and be done with it? Like, we don't need them.
We never found that third stick, huh?
Right. It was probably behind the horrible flesh wall.
You guys did not destroy the horrible flesh wall, and you did not find the third stick.
No, we did not.
It'll be fine.
So what's
Fine.
next? We
I
setting
say
out for
we
the
get
day?
rid of those sticks. I say we get rid of those sticks.
Okay, what are we doing with the sticks?
I mean, if they cause mummy rot, I'm not comfortable just leaving them here.
We can throw them in the lake.
You
And
throw
then give them
throw them
mummy
on
lake.
the lake. The lake's frozen.
I mean, if you don't want to leave them here, the safest thing to do...
Burn them. Is that what you said, Destil?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, burn them.
Yeah.
Burn them. Get the
Well,
mummy
we're-
rot smoke.
Yeah, no, we'll burn them separate from our own camp. Up in-
Yeah, I don't think that they would cause mummy rot. Like, that's not the vision I got, but maybe it got perverted somehow.
Wait, can you use the Legend Lore Stone on, like, one of us while we're mummy rotted?
That's a good shot. I'll give it a shot.
Use it on me, because I'd like to see what you see. You see Birdie squatting in the woods taking a shit or something.
It's
If a
9
birdie
hours
shits
long.
in the- A birdie shits in the woods.
A shit of legendary importance.
It's just a legendary shit.
the most legendary of poops.
We're adults, don't worry.
So we're gonna wait until tomorrow morning when he's coughing again, and then legend lore him.
Yeah, let's give it a shot.
Right. So you guys
I don't
spent
like
today
this plan.
coming around the side of the woods with the frozen lake on your left or on your right. Are you circling on the east or the west of the lake?
Frozen Lake on our
Keep
right.
it-
Lake on your right. Right.
Okay.
Sorry, McDohl, I just didn't want no one to say anything.
Of course you do. That's how it always works with you, Nodal.
I cannot get a 20 on my random encounters to save my life. Go ahead and make that Constitution saving throw and your spell spellcrafting rolls again as well.
So spellcrafting,
12.
Nope.
They have.
Constitution.
Nope.
Pass the con save.
I failed.
Yeah.
Birdie
Adrex
failed again.
passes.
Birdie, 13 hit points today.
Uh,
And same thing, he seems to be exhibiting these symptoms all over again the next morning.
Just Birdie?
Just Birdie.
Okay.
So you're going to legend lore the Kobold?
I got a Legend Lore of the Kobold. Try to get a hint of that mummy rod on him.
Okay. Legend luring Birdie. You see a great army of comprised primarily of orcs, but you also see contingents of lizard men and Yuan-ti and several other lesser races that dwell in swamp-like areas. And it seems that these forces have formed up outside of this huge marshland. And they're marching forward. You get a sense of desperation, as though these are their last days to fight for their own freedom. And this entire army, though they loose many arrows and spears into the air, are completely laid waste by the acid breath of this gargantuan black dragon, twice the size of the one you fought in the mines. 2 passes over this army. This dragon does all the things that Daenerys' dragon should do, but never does. And the orcs
Not
and
mad about
lizard
anything.
men that remain after this acid just sizzles them down to their boots are subjugated by this creature. And you see years and years and years go by in this vision as this creature creates of its progeny half-dragons that go on to create black dragonborn. And then numerous tribes of kobolds that it works to death in its mines, in the tunnels beneath its swamp, searching for reams of ore to add to its hoard. And these kobolds die by the hundreds over generations, work to death, set out to fight in worthless wars. You become aware of a mountain next to the swamp that none of the creatures in your vision seem to notice. And the top of the mountain always seems to have a glowing, glimmering light. It's not sunlight. It's not firelight. It can only be the light of hope. And after many, many generations of kobolds, one of them turns around and begins climbing the mountain. And he scrabbles up the side of the stone, and every foot he makes up, he slides back down a half foot. He's sending rocks down below. And you see on this kobold's body, he starts taking great scars from wounds, but it never stops him from climbing. And eventually he reaches the very top and claims the light for himself. And you hear the roar of the dragon behind him below as it dies. And that's the end of your vision about Birdie.
And I'll relate that to everyone.
You learn absolutely nothing about this mummy rot bullshit.
Wait, what if we have to climb a mountain to heal the mummy rot?
Birdie, I'm guessing your mummy rod just isn't that important.
Rick would take a blip for that. That was good.
Did you? Is that like? I want to know if that's something you actually had. Like, what to do if they legend lore the kobold? Like, is that something you expected? Okay, never mind.
What's next?
He's not going to answer that question.
He's not going to answer that because he was expecting Nodal to do that bullshit at one point.
So remove disease does not work. Remove curse does not work.
Well, no. Remove disease does work. It's just we're contracting it again.
Yeah, so that means that something we're carrying on our person is causing that to happen again.
Alright, Birdie, split up all of your gear. Take just the furs that we got from Nails, and then we'll carry your gear and we'll see if you're carrying something that's reinfecting you after you're healed.
Okay, so you want me to like sleep separate?
Yeah.
Why do you want to assume it was me that it's me that?
I don't. I assume you're carrying the lightest gear.
Okay.
I don't think that.
It's at least worth
Speak
trying.
your mind. Adrex, speak your mind. What do you...
I mean, we're all getting infected, though.
So if it's
That's the
something we're
weird
carrying.
thing. If it's
That's
something we're
why
still carrying.
it's something among a lot of us. Yeah.
so,
guess
I don't
this
think
is
splitting gear will help.
It can't
Whatever.
hurt.
So,
We
Birdie,
can at least find out a little bit.
you're keeping the furs on your body. Are you keeping your weapons and things?
Yeah, I'm keeping my weapons, my bow at least, and my dagger and my short sword.
I imagine like Birdie's gear as he's splitting it up and handing it to you. Like there's cookie crumbs in it and just like lots of sharp stuff, like balls of hair and twine that he keeps. Like a broken
Where does
picture
he even
frame.
get the-
Like
Where does he even get the hair?
you guys
He
travel
reaches in
north
his pocket, pulls out a half-eaten candy bar.
around the other side of the lake,
Gum.
and you come to a new table.
Perfectly
new
circular
table.
clearing.
This is-
Perfectly circular city.
The city of Sigil.
So you guys are coming north. So you're coming from the bottom of the map. This, what looks like a riverbed on this map, is actually not. Let's get rid of all the lines. It twists and turns and jackknifes like a riverbank would from above. It is its actual shape. But what it actually is, it looks like a path. Like a well-worn and well-traveled path. Like every so often, it becomes trodden upon by 1,000 boots. The earth here is squashed flat. There's no blades of grass or any foliage or shrubs poking up. You see here and there stones pressed deep into the dirt. Even the snow melts here. The snow is not gathering upon this kind of just rocky path, although it is building up on either side of it. By the time you reach this area, this is where you would take a long rest, but at this point the weather has gotten so bad that it's impossible to do so. So Birdie, you cannot regain hit points. The weather's too bad to get a long rest, although I do need your constitution saves again.
Birdie, did you put your daggers in the mummies?
No, I don't think so.
So you only shot them.
Yeah.
Okay. I failed.
You failed?
That was like
actually
the-
fails that one.
I
Birdie?
felt super hard.
Ooh. So Birdie, you're going to lose an additional 13 hit points. Adrex and Red, you will as well. You guys get very little rest tonight. The winds and the snows kicked up, and there's very little shelter out here. Here and there you see one of those bizarre rock formations that I described earlier. You try to take shelter in the shadow of one of those, so the wind is coming the opposite direction, and that seems to offer some solace. But the next day, all three of your companions were showing signs of the mummy rot.
So we rested, but we didn't get the benefits of a long rest, right?
You were not able to rest. You basically took what sleep you could, but there's just
Okay.
no comfort to be had right now. You're
All
not
right,
able to
I'm
get a
gonna
fire
knock-
started, and the wind is too strong.
Do we
15
know anyone
points off
who would
the-
know? Sorry.
15 points off to fix to treat the disease.
Okay.
Do we know anyone who would know anything about mummy rot? I still have one piece of parchment from Captain Eyes.
Like, can Raazu's god tell us what's giving us from mummy rot?
And I'll give Birdie his gear back at this point.
I don't think she works like that, Birdie.
Last time I asked her for something, the bitch tried to drown me.
Yeah, I know, right?
Like, can we think of anyone at all who is an expert on undead, mummies, who would also have magical means to communicate back to us?
No.
No, me either.
Maybe Griagro, but he doesn't have the other one of those letters.
Captain Eyes might, you never know.
That's true. He has a lot of stuff about magic, and he might actually have the means to contact us. Do you think we should write him?
Yeah, I think that's worth it.
All right. Yeah, I've been holding on to this for a long time, but I don't think we should be up here diseased.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, well, actually, like, how did that work? Could we contact anyone, or just because he gave
We
us
can
extra?
contact. He.
This is the extra.
I know, but he said with the extra we can contact. We could contact anyone with it, right?
Right,
Here's the
but I don't
thing,
know.
is here's how it worked. He gave us one to write back with him with the information for how the stuff with the dragon went down. We did that. He gave us 2 others. One to contact him if we needed anything, and then just one for our own personal use.
Oh, we can use it if we needed anything.
Yeah.
You're right. Yeah, I do have 2 left in my inventory.
Like we could try Griagro because he's a crazy squid man with that likes to mess with chemicals.
Yeah, but his response will just be, "Yeah, bring him right down here. I've got some experience I want to do."
I get the feeling that that's the kind of vibe I got when I saw him. But granted, that was like a year ago. But
we could also see how we could also ask how he's if he solved the orc population.
So who are we contacting with these?
Captain Eyes.
Captain Eyes? What are you asking him?
I'm writing the letter right now.
Okay.
He's really writing a letter.
I did that when I did that when I wrote Captain Eyes before. So
Did you?
Writing Captain Ives a strongly
it.
worded letter about mummy rot.
Says, "Hey, mummies are bullshit. You know how to deal with the bullshit. Sorry about how that dragon went down."
We get like the magical equivalent of a dial tone. Sorry, but the dark elf you are trying to contact was eaten by a red dragon.
Please deposit 2 ounces of ink if you would like to try again.
Please deposit a 1,000 GP diamond in order to bring his soul back from the great beyond.
Okay.
That actually strikes me as something that would happen in Planescape.
So I'm assuming you're going to type this in the Flumph party chat. I just got to scroll past all the yogurt and...
Yep.
Okay.
Love the yogurt.
Are you asking Captain Ives about yogurt?
you should read it back to the. Once you're done, you should read it back for the video record.
Oh, yeah, we'll read it back. I just...
Is there anything else we want to tell Captain Eyes?
Jordy, put it on there. No. Oh yeah.
No, I mean, is there anything else you want me to add to this letter before I send it?
I think that's about it. Yeah.
Ask how the crew's doing.
You just want to know about
What's Sweetieberg up to? Wait,
Yeah,
can you
I
write
guess.
anything on that?
It's a piece of parchment.
You can fill up the whole
Do you have
party.
any? Do you have any extra space?
I mean, I haven't written a lot, so if you want to send him like a rune.
Yeah, and Wendy like shushes him over and then writes down the steps to the recipe she came up with while staying with the rat people.
Is there any more room on there?
How big is the recipe?
It's a small recipe. I can write very small. I'm a monk.
You
I think I'm gonna be able to fit 1 spell rune on here. Does that sound reasonable, Big Red?
Yeah.
Or Big Red?
Yeah, that's fine. I'll say you can fit your letter and the recipe and the rune.
So what rune do we want to send him?
Raise dead.
Ooh, that's spicy there, buddy.
Well, okay, so here's the deal.
No. We are not giving him dead.
Well, what's the worst he can do with it? Bring people
I
back to
feel like
life?
I feel like Captain Eyes is on, like... I don't have a problem with the guy right now.
Also,
Same.
like,
We're
I don't
not
know.
giving him a fireball. It's raised dead.
Yeah.
Yeah. If he can save a valued crewman's life, then hey, more power to him.
Raise dead, and like he's going to like
remove curse. That'd be way better.
Dear Captain Eyes, hoping this finds you in good health. We ourselves are not. At the top of the world, searching for mechanical, magical men. If you in your travels have discovered anything about the nature of mummy rot, we seem to have contracted it, and despite magical healing from Raazu's god, we have been unable to free ourselves of the contagion long term. Wendy wishes to know how well Sweetieberg is doing, and includes a recipe for rat people food. Birdie wishes you to have this arcane knowledge. The rune for raised dead, signed Red. And
That's what you wrote, Red? Red, it's not rat people food.
No, it's in parentheses. Recipe for rat people food. Like, the recipe is there, not that.
like
I'm
I-
assuming that Wendy will make it clear that it's food that rat people eat and not food you make out of rat people.
like I figured like the rune for raise dead be a good one because it's
And then you
sufficiently
hear,
powerful.
you feel more than hear, the ground shakes slightly beneath you. and you start hearing in the distance the sound of many, many footfalls hitting stone. And looking off in this direction, this bizarre switchback road, in the morning light, as you guys are waking up and coming to terms and writing this letter, no sooner does the scroll flash away from Destil's hand as he finishes writing it, what can only be described as an army of these armored men coming up the stone road. And they will be upon you in probably several minutes. And that's what we're going to call it for today.
Oh,
Maybe we should have put that in the letter.
You didn't notice it until after he sent the letter.
No.
You can send a second one. P.S. Metal Men, hurry.
Hurry is double underlined.
Please disregard that we are searching for magical metal men. We seem to have found them.
We have found them. Never mind, my B.
All right, I'm going to go dark for a second. Actually, I don't have any experience to tally up. I'm going to go dark for a second so I can send my dogs outside. You guys talk about think about what kind of blips you want to award this week. And I got to share the straw poll here.
I will say Raazu's pretty close to a level.
Here is your straw poll for the week. Go ahead and vote for your favorite for the week. And I'll be back in just about 2 minutes.
All right, so let's go through this.
Who's creative today?
Windy for luring the dragon off, allowing everybody else to escape.
Yeah, no,
That was
a good call.
That was a good gambit.
All right, who furthered the party's goals today?
Adrex for negotiating with the hunters so that we, didn't have to kill each other.
Yeah, we did send Adrex out to negotiate, and he did a pretty good job.
Yeah. Who's a badass?
I have something, but I want to see if somebody else has something else.
I put a lot of arrows in that dragon.
You put
You
one
did.
very meaty arrow in that dragon.
I put at
you
least
did.
2 very meaty arrows in that dragon. Maybe 3. I lost count.
I think
One of them was last session.
80% of the damage that got done to that dragon was red, and then the other 20%, 15% was windy,
Awesome.
and then the other 5% was split between the two fighters, and I didn't do it. I don't think I did any damage to that dragon.
What did you have, though, for badass?
I was gonna say the combat roll through the acid for windy, but yeah.
I'm good with the dragon.
Yeah.
All right, then. And who is intangible today?
Adrex for giving my ability to sass back.
I was gonna say Raazu.
No, I think we... Oh, sorry.
I was gonna say Raazu for getting her trident turned into a whip.
I'm all for rewarding Adrex for spending blips to help a party member.
Right.
It's true. Okay, I have to fight for my blips.
That was real good, Raazu. You good with Adrex with it being not equal in return for Adrex being only -1?
Yeah.
He did spend 3.
He did. Yeah, no, I'm fine with that.
We'll pencil you in for next week. Give blips to Raazu.
I'm just really close to a level, guys.
What are your beliefs? Let's run through them. Because I actually want to give, I wanted to speak up for someone else's beliefs, which was red. For sometimes I will do what I have to with ignoring my party entirely.
Yeah, that's why I told them about Warwanax.
Oh no, that was good. But for me, it was when I came up with this plan to lure away the dragon, and then you just fucking shot it in the face.
All right.
I was a big fan of the plan of you punching him in the face repeatedly. That was great.
It's a good plan.
My dogs are outside. Edgar's not happy about it. Who wants to make their case first this week? We didn't actually conclude any combat. You guys got away from that dragon.
I'll go. So
Birdie, go ahead.
My ideal, the accumulation of magical knowledge, is something that makes me most useful to my tribe, and is ultimate path to pleasing my patrons. So that when I now have the ability to raise the dead.
Mm-hmm.
And I am probably at some point going to fix that spell stone, because I just have to see what kind of. I'm a little leery about paying that price. But my bond, focus on the little things, make the tribe stronger any way I can. For reminding Adrex, he does not have armor, and we should probably get some, while we had the people who had some crafting ability and raw materials. And that's it.
Okay, who else?
I'll go.
Wendy, hit me.
I've got good as helping others for Wendy attempting to sacrifice herself for the party from the dragon. I've got learning things is never wasted for essentially hearing the dragon moving backwards and following the party. The reason why I have that as a thing is because the dragon is doing the exact opposite. Basically, they lost the ability to fly, decided, well, I can't deal with this, so I'll just continue doing things as though I was still able to be able to fly, and just screwing everything up rather than just getting past it like Wendy did. And I've got, wait, what does that do? For accidentally sassing the other party by asking them what they would say if they weren't hostile. Because Wendy was genuinely curious. And then finally I have monastic tradition redirection. Use the forces that already exist to create your desired outcome for her speech to Raazu, guiding her through last breath meditation.
The other thing is, eventually Wendy will be able to fly again, but that black dragon never will. Okay, who else wants to go?
I can go.
Red.
So I've got my alignment. Survival requires the greatest good for the greatest number. Paying off the honors with them.
Well,
I have
them some good.
I have my flaw, thanks to Wendy. It's often best just to do what needs to be done. Explaining it to the others would be a waste of time. For shooting the dragon really friggin' hard when Wendy was trying to lure it away. And then I've got my bond. I'll keep peace and prosperity among those in our lands, even doing things that my companions or I find personally distasteful, because he pretty much intentionally let the bit about Warwick slip, so that in case something goes down with Mormon, these guys would at least know up front that, hey, the people you just helped out might have pissed off a god.
Warwick is dead. Adric
Yeah.
killed his ass like 4 years ago, dude. Get over it.
Not Warwick, hand axe.
Hand axe?
No, Atrix has the hand axe.
Oh, you guys.
Also, I will double check. I don't think there's a rule that prevents you from adding poison dice damage on a critical hit. The critical hit just doubles all dice. I will say that whenever I've got a crit against you guys with a poison damage, I have definitely doubled the dice.
Okay.
That seems
Well,
fair
we
to
doubled
me.
the dice there, so.
It didn't matter because you didn't even have that dragon bloodied yet. So
Yeah, I know.
who else?
Normally you tell us when things are bloodied. That was part of the reason I'm like, yeah, we should get out of here.
We had him scale.
I've put a crit and 2 really good poison arrows into this thing. It's probably time to go.
Adrix or Raazu?
I've got it.
Raazu.
I'm trying to go for the full Monty here, but I don't know how well you'll buy off on these.
Let's see.
When my anger is roused, I have trouble thinking straight, and I fear I might do something I will regret. Raazu was very upset with Wendy for dropping that knowledge about Mammon before, we knew what they were, what the orc and her party were about.
Was Raazu concerned that they were some of Mammon's proxies?
Yes, that's exactly why.
Are you now convinced that they're not?
Since they seem to be pretty dumb about it, maybe, but they could have just been putting up a front. So
I am gonna have to look up how many scales makes up a suit of scale mail armor, so I can determine how many mephits to spawn on you guys during your next long rests.
Makes
Iron
sense.
mephits.
What else, Raazu?
Her alignment, good and evil are subjective distinctions. What matters is keeping to your own ethics. For covering the party's retreat at nearly the cost of her life.
Came real close. I think you came within one round. Because if he had got his next turn and you would stay on the ground, that would have been it.
It was the initiative order. Yeah, it was the initiative order screwed me that time. And her ideal, work hard, play harder. I earn my leisure time, and by Osprey, I use it to my fullest for taking that downtime to pray and commune with her goddess.
Okay.
Bond, sword arm is only the beginning of a greater world, but is a necessary first step for first going for to try punch through the ice with her weapon.
Was that the beginning of a greater world? Or was that just trying to save your own life?
That was more the latter, but it speaks to Raazu's first instinct with things is to hit it.
That's true. Birdie can attest to that.
To be fair,
Raazu's flaw, I take any advantage I can if it'll aid my allies, regardless of the consequences. For pushing Birdie through his research to learn the Raise Dead spell.
Okay. And what does Adrex have for me?
Alright. Aspect, signature style, energetic. First attack, he threw a javelin, realized it did no damage, and then called upon all of the magic attack using people to attack the dragon.
That's...
Yeah, no, it was pretty like anime there of you.
Power of friendship.
Bonds, it is my cool friends and I are working to make the world a better place. It has fallen to me to try and protect them, oh dear, for repeatedly trying to use his skills to figure out what the hell is going on with Rot for massive and being massively futile at it. And flaws, that sounds like a great idea for listening to complete strangers who could have had hostile intent and completely disarming himself and going over and parlaying with fingernails.
Okay, I expected him to say the curing me of my muteness there.
It is my responsibility to bring out the good in... No.
Is that the good in Birdie?
That is definitely not the good.
We get one blip for the most creative solution to a problem this session.
Windy for the luring the dragon off.
That dragon was real mad at Windy.
Yeah.
We have one blip. Who furthered the party's goals the most?
I think that was
Adrex for the parlay, I think, is what we said.
Mm-hmm.
Who was the badass?
Red for dealing all that damage to that dragon.
That was a lot of damage. And one blip for intangibles.
We gave it to Adrex for what was the exact reason?
For curing.
For curing our good Kobold friend.
Okay.
For removing that.
And our straw pool is currently a tie. I'm awarding everybody one blip for getting away from the black dragon in one piece.
Yay!
One
blip. That's about what that dragon's worth, right?
So
we didn't really lose anything.
It comes down to like 13,000 experience or something.
It's like one blip.
And let me check to see if we have a tiebreaker here.
Oh, also I have the video.
You do. Raazu broke our tie this week for the straw.
Yay! Thank you, chat.
And Birdie has the extra one.
The extra point.
We're at level 13, right? Is that the highest?
Yeah.
Okay, so
Raazu's 12, yeah.
666. Raazu has, I think, all of them. 7 blips, because you have the extra one coming to you as well. Windy,
okay.
2, 3, 4. 6 for Windy. 6 for Adrex. 4 for Birdie because of the video. 5 for Red. And you guys are going to be really, really mad at me when you figure out this mummy rot thing.
I think.
Oh, is it going to be some sort of?
I'm not discussing it right now. It's over now. I'm not thinking about it again until next week. Thanks for playing, guys. And I'm going to go and hope Game of Thrones doesn't suck tonight. and farewell.
Oh, I think I know